You don't offend me, you don't
Yes,
scare me.
no matter how much makeup you wear, how fat you are, no matter how insufferable you are, you're still great. Slay. All right, you're good. Who's up next? Yes, okay. Hey, I will say this, you got fatter since last time. Might want to exercise a little bit. I know school just started, the gyms are probably open.
I'm not here to listen. If you are asking me to listen, so you should listen as well.
Yeah, we should get Muhammad out here.
Nobody watches WNBA. WNBA wouldn't be a thing, right?
Yeah, it's subsidized, bro. Do you not realize it's negative? Every year, it loses money?
If it loses money every year, it wouldn't be smart to keep it running, right? But it's
You're right. You're right. See, that's why you're Asian. You're smart. Notice how the guys are able to control themselves and they wait their turn. Then the women are just yelling in the background, etc. Get her a spatula somewhere.
Do we need to bring some sort of Sharia law to America to get our women back in check?
What's up, guys? Welcome. I think I'm here somewhere in South Carolina, right? Columbia, South Carolina. I think that's where we're at right now. USC. Myron Gaines, one half of the Fresh and Fit podcast, a.k.a. the most misogynistic, anti-Semitic. I'm just kidding. So here are just some of my positions, I guess, that I can give you guys, both politically and culturally, so you guys have an idea of where I stand. Number one, women are dumb. They need to be second-class citizens. Blacks are crooks. Jews run America. Indians stink. Chinese are good with math. Trans should be in asylums and away from guns and away from our kids. Gays should not be able to adopt children. And Title IX is a scam. So my first topic here is trans should be in asylums. I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. We saw what happened tragically in Minneapolis. Individual thought it was a good idea to open fire on innocent children. And this isn't the first time that we've had these crazies do this. This also happened earlier up in Tennessee. And I think we need to have a serious discussion on trans people, mental illness, and them not being able to procure firearms. You know, men and women are different. We're biologically different. And if you try to take a guy and tell him that he's a woman or he feels like he's a woman, something is wrong with him. So I think that creates a lot of issues for us as a society, and we need to stop cucking ourselves and thinking, oh, let's go ahead and just, he feels like he's a woman, so let's treat him like he's a woman. And then he goes ahead and plays in female sports and smashes all the girls because they suck. So it's like, for all the feminists that are mad at me, you guys should agree with me on this one at least, because I'm protecting female sports even though it's useless. So I do think that women should have the ability to play sports and everything, but let's not be delusional here and think that it's the same as male sports or that it's entertaining. Nobody shows up to WNBA games. The NBA has to subsidize it. And yeah. Well, look, they're saying, oh, bro, we show up.
First off, why are you talking shit about our women's basketball team? Because you don't know how to play basketball.
That's your argument?
And why are you talking shit about women with people with disabilities? Because most people with disabilities have sports with issues. So why are you talking shit about that? So what's your problem?
So what's your main grievance? Is it about women's sports and basketball or disabilities?
Both.
Okay, well, for the basketball thing, women...
Wait, let me finish talking.
Oh, well, okay.
So what about you? What's your disability? Do you have any disabilities?
I have a high tolerance for stupid people talking to me. I'd say that's a disability.
Not a disability, sir, because you're racist. Thank you very much.
That was a good one. Ask a bunch of questions and walk away. Makes sense. Perfect.
Hello.
There you go, guys. Prove my point right there, man. Women can't control themselves. Go ahead.
I have a cool talent. If you give me any random date and year, I could tell you the exact day of the week you were born on.
Say that again? Any random what? His mic is down. I can't hear him.
Like, when's your birthday?
Yeah, you got to talk closer to the mic. I can barely hear you. Go ahead.
Like, when's your birthday and year, and I could tell you the exact day of the week you were born on.
Okay, you're like a numerologist or something, or?
I'm a human calendar. I'm a savant. Like, when's your birthday and year, and I can tell you the exact day of the week you were born on. Trust me.
Do you need what is it? The day and the year?
Yeah, the day and the year.
Yeah, April 20th, 1990.
April 20th, 1990 is a Wednesday.
Oh, okay, great. No, you had it right.
Wait,
420.
Wait, April 20th, 1990? No, that wasn't a Wednesday. That was a Friday.
Okay, all right. It was a Friday. There you go. Okay, who's up next? Any other astrology people or numerologists or something? What's up, man? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I just have one quick question. What's
Sure.
your bench?
What's a what?
What's your bench?
What's my what?
Bench. Like
Oh,
your
what's
one
my
rep
bench?
max.
I don't know, man. I haven't benched in a while. I do mostly calisthenics.
What's calisthenics? How many pull-ups can you do?
between 15 and 20.
That's solid.
Yeah.
250?
250. Yeah, I do mostly calisthenics nowadays, man. I'm getting old. Actually, we were talking about that on the way here.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
What are your thoughts on Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance next election?
Well, Peter Thiel is quite literally a cocksucker. And I think that he's ushering in a very dangerous future for us. The guy is literally behind the software, him and Alex Karp, that's killing a bunch of innocent children all across Gaza. So, yeah, I think having a bunch of technocrats in positions of power can be quite problematic for our future.
So you said that.
And as far as J.D. Vance, like his background is very shady.
So you said that transgender shouldn't be allowed to have guns, correct?
Yes.
But don't you think it's a slippery slope, and eventually that might be tyrannical overreach? That the government might ban like more people from having guns?
That's a totally good argument. We already have that though, because we already have under 18 U.S.C. 922, which is what the federal agencies arrest people for whenever they're a prohibited person. We already have a bunch of different classes of people that can't have guns, and I think we need to put trans people in that classification.
But like.
Under the mental illness.
But wouldn't they just put more people, like couldn't they consider people based off certain political views mentally ill, and wouldn't that just start making to where eventually no one can have guns?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely make that argument, but I think it's pretty distinct that people that are transsexual need to definitely be put in there. I mean, if you have a certain political ideology, that could be on a case-by-case basis, but I think when it comes to trans, it's pretty obvious that there's something wrong there with them mentally.
All right.
No worries. Anybody else? Anybody else? I know we got some people that just walked in. Can go through some of my positions again. Number one, women are dumb. Blacks are crooks. Jews run America. Indians smell. Chinese are good at math. Trans should be in asylums and away from guns. Title IX is a scam, and female sports is a waste of time. I know that you guys said something about, someone was complaining about you guys have a good female sports basketball team or something like that. So, I mean, that's great and all, but it's like, female sports is kind of like, you have a kid, right? Like, let's say you got a kid or like a cousin or something, like a little cousin. He gives you like a painting that's all crappy and it sucks and it's like finger painting or whatever. And they give it to you and you're like, oh, thank you. And you like frame it or whatever more because like you love them. No, not necessarily because the art is good. That's like female sports. Like you're there because it's like, okay, I go to school here. I like this girl or I like this person. I'm here to show support. But like realistically speaking, you're not there because it's like actually good. You're there as like moral support. That's like what women's sports is kind of. Because the reality is, we would just, if they were so good, they would compete with the men, but they can't do that. So, and I also find it interesting how we'll sit here and we'll subsidize female sports, right? Even though it's like negative, doesn't make money, it's completely an L. But like we would never do that for male sports. Like if the NBA for some weird reason was like negative and didn't produce any type of profit, we would get rid of it. We would completely, it would be disbanded. But like for the WNBA, we allow it to keep going, even though it's a money sink because of feelings, right? This kind of comes back to my whole concept of, we make separate standards for women while simultaneously watering down the entire industry. I'll give you another example. I don't think women should be in law enforcement, especially in positions where they're going to have to be hands-on, right? Because I could tell you someone that used to work in law enforcement, and anyone here that works in law enforcement knows you have a female backup, it's like, damn, you're pretty much on your own. Because they just don't have the same physical capacity to take down a suspect or enforce an arrest properly. And a lot of the times their ineptitude will put you in danger. They're more likely to shoot. They're more likely to escalate because they don't have the physical strength to subdue a person or a suspect. And it creates a lot of issues. So that's another example. Military as well. What's up, man? Your mic is...
Is it good now? Okay.
Yeah, it should be. You got to talk real close to it, though, because...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can hear now. All right. So last time you were here, I asked you about your sympathies for the Nazi Party. Would you mind elaborating on, like, why you believe the Nazis are a good thing?
Well, the thing is, you want to... We just started the stream up, right? Yeah, because we just started this thing. Look, we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Does anyone else have a question, or would they like to hear the answer?
Well, we'll do it at the... Because here's the thing is we're streaming right now. I have no problem talking about this topic. But we're streaming right now,
But
so
you have no problem
that's why.
addressing it. You should have no problem addressing it in public, right?
Well,
you've said it on
I've
your
talked about it publicly a bunch of
before.
times. We're live on a bunch of different platforms that have user guidelines, which in itself should tell you kind of the world that we live in, where censorship is extremely heavy. So,
well, I mean, you're a free speech warrior, right?
I
So
am,
what does it matter
absolutely,
that
but
there
we're
are
on
these-
platforms that don't respect free speech, unfortunately.
So this
like
is all
YouTube,
about just
etc.
monetization, then, right?
No, actually, no. I'm demonetized for talking about this stuff. It's more about getting the
Okay, then
information
talk
out
about
there.
it. Why not talk
But
about
again, like I said before, we'll definitely talk about it. But we literally just started the stream. Don't want to fucking get the thing canceled right now. So we'll have
Okay.
that discussion. I'm happy to have it. We're here till 3, man. We're here till 3.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad you can get that bag, but just so everyone's aware, he will not, for the second time in a row, address the question of
We
why
just
he-
started up the stream, dude, and we're on another guy's stuff. I'm not going to ruin someone else's platform, okay?
I mean, I'm really sorry for him, but like, you're not
No,
really
no, no.
free
It's
speech warrior,
fine.
man.
We're here till 3. If you're so brave about it, come back. We have this discussion at the end.
Sure, man.
Because like you always come in the middle of the stream. Like, come at the end and we can discuss it. I have no problem talking about it. No, you definitely did. You came in the middle last time as well. You did the same thing. You came in the middle last time as well. But we'll have that discussion. No problem. Never said I love them, but that's fine. You can mischaracterize my position. They lied. I'll tell you this. There's a lot of lies World War II for a bunch of different reasons. It's a non-statement. Okay. Yeah, and you're a pussy. And you're a pussy. Well, no, come back again. We'll have that discussion at the end. Come back again. You always come in the middle trying to sabotage. I know what you're trying to do, bro.
Hell yeah.
Because he did the same exact shit last time.
Stand where?
And at the end of the day, we're on people's platforms that aren't mine, so I don't want to ruin what they got because of my political views. What's up, man? But we can have it at the end. We'll have that discussion at the end, for sure. We'll cut to Rumble and we'll fucking go all in. What's up?
All right. So you said blacks are crooks. What that mean? Where that come from? What type of sense that make? Look at me.
So I don't want to live in a predominantly black neighborhood.
You see where I live at?
Yeah, it's mostly white people.
Yeah, hell yeah. But
Yeah.
still.
So I think me and you agree on that one.
No, that don't mean blacks are crooks though. It's black people here that's great people. I mean, it's
Yeah,
hello.
sure.
Me.
But I don't want to live in a black majority neighborhood.
That don't mean they crooks. You ain't.
Well,
you ain't
the reason why is
about the
because
real
it's high
business,
crime
though.
areas 9 out of 10 times.
Damn right. But you'll survive. You'll be
What was
all
that?
right. You're dead right. In certain areas like Chicago or some shit, but we ain't
Yeah.
in Chicago. Niggas ain't finna just shoot you for no reason out here.
You mean here or where?
Yes, here in Columbia. They
Yeah,
not finna
yeah.
just
But like,
shoot
no,
you.
bro. Like, I'm not trying to be like black majority neighborhoods tend to be high crime, and I don't want to be there. And I know you don't want to be there either. That's why you're here, right?
Nah,
Because you're not at
actually-
Howard for a reason, right?
Nah, I just went here because I like USC.
Well, you're speaking really, bro. You got to talk into my.
I like
can barely
Columbia.
hear you.
I like USC Columbia. That's
Yeah.
why
Well, I don't blame you. It's good breakdown here.
Yeah.
Ratio.
But like, whenever you say blacks are crooks, you gotta like give a point and some specific like truths to it. Because you just said blacks are crooks, and then high crime rate.
Yeah, they're a minority of the
that's about
population,
that's
yet they
about
commit
it.
a
That's all
majority
you
of the
got.
violent crime.
Okay,
Simple
yeah.
as that, yeah. Like what, 13% of the population, and then the men are like about 6%, and then
That's
they're
also a
committing something like 50% of the violent crime?
That's also a result.
That's a problem.
That's also a result of where they are and what they're in and what the government do to them and how they feel. Because you got to think about it, they on government assistance. They sitting here in the hood and they think the only way out is to sell some drugs and shoot some guns. But that's not the truth. You can go to university still.
Well, that just removes
They just don't know
accountability. That just removes accountability from black people.
It's because there's less opportunity.
Well, that's not an excuse. There's plenty of people that grow up poor that are able to make something themselves
Damn
without being
right.
criminals.
Look, it's people that can do it, but the fact that they have to fight, and instead of just being white and being born white and just come to school, come to USC and be great, you can't just do that as a nigga. It's not gonna happen.
I would argue that you have more opportunities as a black person as a white guy nowadays.
You're a damn lie.
No, that's the truth.
Boy, you're a damn lie. You know that.
No.
You know that.
So
What?
I could talk about that. So here's the thing, bro. With DEI, affirmative action, etc., like we've absolutely made it where minorities and women have far more opportunities than white guys. That's the truth. So
because they don't need no help. They got it already. They got it as soon as they was popped out the coochie.
Well, here's the thing. Look, if we're gonna go off of meritocracy, that's cool, but we don't go off meritocracy. We go off of, we want to go ahead and fill quotas so that we can have a diverse workplace. And then what ends up happening is you have a bunch of people that aren't qualified for the job or not as good because we want to bring them in to diversify the workplace. I think that's a big problem. I think we need to go off meritocracy.
That's the women thing. That's the women thing. That's not black people. Stay on the black people topic.
Yeah, a lot of black people are on some bullshit, and they get into
I do my
schools or
job.
they
I
get
get
into
shit
positions,
done.
and they shouldn't be in there, but they end up coming in somehow because they get accepted with lower test scores. They
And
get
they'll
accepted
fail.
because of certain opportunities where they're like, we need
And
to
if they
accept this
aren't
amount of
qualified,
kids
they will
into
fail.
our school to fit this quota. So it waters down the entire environment.
But if they aren't qualified, they will fail.
What was that?
If they aren't qualified, they will fail the course, no matter if they get in or not.
No, they get in with lower test scores.
Yeah,
my
and
point.
they get in and fail if they aren't qualified.
But
for
the
it,
point
right?
is they took that position from someone else that wouldn't have failed if they got in. So they get an opportunity that they never deserved in the first place. That proves my point. They get in, they fail. They shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, exactly. They failed. They just ain't make it. They not.
But they
good
took.
enough.
You don't understand. For them to get that spot,
It's
they
an
displaced
example.
someone else
That's
that
one
was
person.
qualified.
You talking about some small couple people that get in.
Oh,
and
now
not
small
supposed to
couple
be there.
people.
Cause I'm a person that done got there for a reason. You feel me? So whenever you somebody that got there for a reason, it's a difference between somebody that just got there because they black. I got here because I did my job. I did my work. I ain't get here because I'm black. I ain't get here because I'm black. So they like, oh, black people let the black nigga in.
All right. So then, if you got
I got
here,
a 4.2 GPA.
If you got here based off your meritocracy. If you got here off your meritocracy, then you should be mad that they're allowing black people in that don't have the same merit because that makes you look bad.
I'm mad that you saying black people in general ain't got it like that. Like we the ones that's crooks, so we can't just come here and do it off our own muscle. We can.
Okay, so
that certain people don't ever get that opportunity.
Look. This is that victim mindset again that black people tend to have.
Yeah.
If you grow up in a bad environment, right? You can't blame everybody else for growing up in a bad environment. You can overcome and make something of yourself. But it's no one's obligation to feel sorry for you or make concessions for you to be able to get in or for them to lower their standards because you grew up in a bad neighborhood or you grew up poor. I grew up poor. I was able to figure it out, right? I grew up with brown skin. I grew up Muslim. I grew up with all the stereotypes against me, but I was able to figure it out and I didn't let that stop me. So the problem is that people will sit there and say, oh, I'm from the hood, blah, blah, blah. It's like that. You're limiting yourself.
Yeah, but they could be from the hood, and then their uncle is the goddamn big homie. They uncle OG. They the OG. He gonna jump them in as soon as they turn 12. As soon as he hop off the porch, he born into this, bro. He gets stuck there. As soon as he hopped off the porch,
who chooses if he jumps off the porch?
Yeah, but he ain't got nowhere to go after that. Once he do, at 12 years old, hey, he already in the streets. He's stuck there forever. Now.
Okay, so let me ask you this then.
His ass, kill him if he try to leave.
Let me ask you this.
Right?
Do you think black people have agency?
What?
Do black people have agency?
Oh, I don't know what that is, twin.
Bruh.
You gotta let me know.
Okay.
You gotta let me know what that is.
He said he don't know what that is. Yeah, you got the 4.0, bro. Like, come on, man.
4.2.
Yeah,
4.2.
Bruh, this is why college is a scam, bro. Holy. College is a scam. College is a scam, bro. So, look, we can't sit here and say, oh, they're going to hop off the porch on one side and be like, oh, my God, we got to, make all these concessions for them. And then on the other hand, be like, oh, yeah, they don't have any agency. It's like, dude, you got to take accountability. It's either you're an adult and you make your own decisions, you got to live with those decisions, or not. We treat you like a second-class citizen. Last time I checked, I think MLK fought for equal rights, equal civil liberties, which means you got to deal with the responsibility that comes with that authority. What's up, man?
All right, so I believe you quoted the statistic. You said 13% of the population commits 50% of the violent crime, right?
Well, 30% of the population is black.
Right, so based off that, what conclusion would you come to based off that?
Well, you mean, sorry,
what's the conclusion that you come to based off that statistic?
Well, a minority of the people are committing a majority of the violent crime.
Because why?
There's a multitude of different reasons.
Well, what do you believe the reason to be? You think
broken homes, the lack of the father figure in the household, bad culture, elevating, drug and hip hop / gang violence and over going to school and being educated, a multitude of different reasons. It's very complex.
And because of that, you would say that in general, you generalize that black people are crooks.
Can you speak up, bro? Guys, we got to turn up the mic for these guys because I can barely hear them. Let's turn up their mic. So sorry, I'm struggling to hear what you guys are saying. So just speak up, please.
Based off that, you said that black people are crooks, right?
Yes, they tend to be. Yes, not all, but they tend to be.
So if we follow that same logic, do you know how many mass shootings there have been in the past couple of 10 years?
How many mass shootings?
Yes.
Yeah, how many mass shootings?
It's about 3,000 or 4,000 since 2018, right?
Okay.
How many of those shootings have been perpetrated by trans people?
I know this year, or over the past 2 years, we've had 2 or 3.
It's
Nashville,
4.
this one.
It's 4 since 2018, right?
It's 4? Okay. That's 4 too many.
Right. That would come out to about 0.1% of the population, right?
Sure.
Do you know how many people in America are trans?
How many?
About 1 or 2%.
Yeah, it's a very small percentage, yeah.
So,
I've talked about this before where I've said that people on the right wing tend to inflate the trans problem. But I still do think it's a problem, and I do think that they shouldn't have guns. And I don't think they should have the ability to adopt children either. They're a minority for sure. I see what you're saying. You're like, look, they're a minority. Why do we care? Well, they just killed 2 kids yesterday, so that's a problem. And quite frankly, I think if we can go ahead and handle this problem right now while it's still a topic, they shouldn't have guns.
So based off the logic, though, you know who commits 97% of the mass shootings in America?
Who?
Straight men.
What's that?
Straight men.
Sure.
So based off that logic, would you say that straight men are more likely to commit a mass shooting than a trans person?
Well, straight men are also the majority of the cops, the majority of the firefighters, the majority of the guys that protect this country, the majority of guys that are in our armed forces.
97% though.
Yeah, but that's true. But the reality is that they're not mentally ill. Like if you're trans, definition, you're mentally ill. Something's wrong with you. Okay, versus being a straight man, that's natural. Not the same whatsoever. Not an equal comparison whatsoever.
My point is, though, you're trying to say that trans people are more dangerous and they shouldn't have guns whenever they, per capita, commit less mass shootings than straight men, which is a per capita stat that you brought to earlier, saying that's why black people are crooks, is because 13% of them commit 50% of the violent crimes, right? So why can't you apply that same logic to straight men?
Because, again, being straight is natural. It's the way that we've been able to create this beautiful society we have now was created by straight men, right? Trans people are inherently sick. Something is wrong with them. If you cannot sit there and identify the fact that you don't know what your gender is, well, life is a lot harder than figuring that out, which bathroom you got to go to. So these are people that aren't mentally assimilable to the society, and they need to be, kind of kept out from certain privileges, such as having a gun.
Even though they commit less shootings.
And to compare them to straight men is absolutely ridiculous and
even
ludicrous.
though they commit less shootings than other groups,
and
right?
not only that, also keep in mind that 60% of trans have mental issues. 60% of them, and that's just the people that decide to actually go ahead and go see a psychiatrist. We haven't even figured out the people that don't go see a psychiatrist.
Right.
So a majority of them are already mentally ill. That disqualifies them off rip.
I don't think you're addressing my point about.
I'm definitely addressing your point. You're trying to compare trans people to straight people.
I'm comparing the numbers.
What was that?
I'm comparing the numbers.
Yeah, but the numbers need to be stemmed from somewhere. And if we're going to compare the numbers, we need to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. You're comparing straight heterosexual men that built the world up to where we see now, so that you can enjoy a lot of the benefits you have, like the headphones on your head, the shirt you're wearing, the buildings that we see here, to trans people that don't contribute anything to society besides mental illness, us having to call them she when it's really a he, and a bunch of other problems. They don't really contribute to society the same way that straight men do. So they're not the same whatsoever.
No, in that case, though, then the point you're coming to isn't based off any numbers or facts. It's based off the fact that you just don't like trans people.
Well, we need to have some type of nuance here and understand what we're comparing and be honest here. If we're just going to go straight off numbers and not identify apples to apples, then it's not going to make sense.
I am identifying apples as people who identify, because you believe being trans is a choice, correct?
What was that?
Do you believe being trans is a choice?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think being straight is a choice?
What was that?
Do you think being straight is a choice?
No. I think, being straight is a choice or being gay is a choice?
Being straight.
Yeah, that's the natural way that it's supposed to be.
So everybody else who's outside of that, they're making a choice to do something else, right?
They're making a choice to be strange, yes. They're making to be a degenerate.
So my point is, though, people who identify, who are straight, who are men, right? They commit an over amount of the mass shootings. I don't think that straight men are more likely to commit mass shootings, but the numbers state that if you're trans, you have a lower chance of committing a mass shooting because they're 1% of the population and only commit 0.1% of the mass shootings.
Again. It's great. Like they're like, see,
he's
talking numbers.
The only thing that you're saying,
it's very simple, bro. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Like
straight men created the society. Okay?
You don't like numbers?
A lot of the no, it's not about the numbers. It's about, if you're gonna go ahead and compare the numbers, you got to compare the numbers where it makes sense. Okay, comparing straight men to trans men, when trans men don't contribute to society to the same degree that straight men do. See, this is how crazy it is, right? We live in this world, right? We live in this world where people forget how society was built. We've civilized the world so much that we've forgotten how we got here in the first place. We forgot that this country was built upon the backs of heterosexual men that had a family to go back to. So it went ahead and spurred ingenuity to go ahead and create a society. To compare trans is be like, well, straight guys do X, Y, Z. Also, straight guys are the majority. There's more straight guys than there are trans people.
Right,
and trans people don't contribute to society, so they're not going to get the same level of, I'm not going to give them the same level of, oh yeah, let's go ahead and accept this bad behavior from them when they're a minority and they only create problems. Okay,
Straight
so
men
it's not
make
the
up
same
over
whatsoever.
40% of the population, and yet commit 97% of the mass shootings.
Again, but they also
That's over double.
But they also protect society. They also contribute to society. They're also the working force. They're also paying taxes. They're also doing all these
so
other things.
that's okay.
So
that they're allowed to commit double the mass shootings. Is what you're saying?
well, if they're significantly more, then it only would make sense that they would commit more of the crimes if they do. But you're offsetting all the other positives that they're doing as well.
I think everybody everybody has something to offer. That's not my point. My point is based
well,
off
what I'm
of,
saying is that trans don't offer. That's the problem. So that's why a lot of their
that's
the
not
issues
based
that they
on any
bring.
facts, though. That's because you just don't like trans people.
No, it's not that I don't like them. I think that they need to be put in a certain position where they don't have certain accesses to certain things that can create problems for the rest of society, whether it's having guns, which I think is problematic in itself. I don't think felons should have guns either. I don't think illegal aliens should have guns. I don't think people that renounce their citizenship, people that got a dishonorable discharge, I think we need to put them in that category alongside all those other individuals.
Based off the fact that you just don't like them, though.
No, I don't
Because
like
they
the fact
don't-
that they have guns and that they're not mentally stable. That's what I don't like.
But they
can
don't-
exist. I don't have a problem with them existing or whatever, but if you're going to go ahead and be mentally ill, you don't get the same privileges and rights as people that are sane.
That's
Simple as that. Just like the other people, like that's by your logic. Oh yeah, you hate felons and you hate everybody else. I don't hate them. I just think that we need to have restrictions on certain people to protect the mass society. I think that how people feel,
You think being
right,
trans
versus
should be
what's
a
real are
crime?
two different things. What was that?
You think being trans should be a crime?
No, it doesn't necessarily need to be a crime, but I don't think that they should necessarily be.
Because you're lumping them in with just criminals.
What was that?
You're just lumping them in with criminals. People
No,
who are
they're mentally ill.
dishonorably
They're
discharged.
mentally ill.
Felons.
And that under federal
non-citizens
statute,
in America. You're just lumping them in with criticals and equating it to essentially.
they're mentally ill.
Mentally ill people.
They're mentally ill.
Can't have guns. People with anxiety can have guns.
No, people that are mentally ill cannot have guns. Actually,
Some can. Yes.
no, you cannot. If you had, it's
You might
literally
wanna double check
if
that.
you yes, go ahead, look it up. 18 USC 922. Look it up. There's people that have mental issues or been committed to a mental institution cannot have guns.
Well, hold on. But what kind of mental issues?
No, not
though?
everyone can buy a gun. Some
Because
idiot
I
over
see
here
your
on the
sign that
side.
says put transgenders in an asylum.
Yes.
You're putting the cart before the horse right now. You're saying that anybody who was put in a mental asylum shouldn't be able to have a gun because that's the law. But you're saying that transgenders should be put in an asylum and therefore they shouldn't have guns. So you're basing your argument off something that isn't even based in reality.
Yeah, put them in asylums and don't let them have guns. There you go. Bam. Who's up next? Who's up next?